G'day everyone, I'm Brian, and today we are off to, I'm going to get the name exactly right, Abelana Tented Camp. And we previously stayed a couple of times at the Abelana River Lodge. So the camp and the lodge are on Abelana Private Game Reserve, relatively newly set up private game reserve, and probably started around 2019, of course right before COVID, so didn't get off to a great start as far as being able to get guests in during that period of time. But if you get a chance, also I'll put a link in the description for the River Lodge. Absolutely stunning lodge. Some of the best food I've had on safari, could be the best food I've had on at a safari lodge. Also Imagine Africa Luxury Tented Camp, which is kind of along this same road that I'm heading, also has incredible food, but Abelana is just amazing. And what makes Abelana kind of stand out a little bit from the crowd here, or at least the reserve, is the landscape. And you'll see some of it when I start posting videos about game drives. It's got all these beautiful rocky outcrops and koppies, as they call them. And for those of you who know the Lion King, where the lion stands up there and holds up the baby lion, that's like on a koppie, or associated with East Africa, places like Serengeti. But the landscape is absolutely stunning. And we were lucky enough back in 2019, just before it opened and then had to close again during COVID, to have a private tour of Abelana, have a drive around the reserve and see the camp. And we were originally supposed to stay at the camp and ended up being upgraded to the lodge, because the lodge ended up opening first after COVID. But we're heading along the R40 to give you some directions. I'll have a couple of Google Earth maps and other directions, Google Earth maps, the ones that the satellite map, and just the road map to give you a bit of an idea, because there's two entries to get into Abelana. One is for the River Lodge, and that's further along. So we're on the R40 heading north from Hoedspruit, and the River Lodge probably takes about 50 minutes to an hour to get to that. If you're travelling on the R40, you get to a T-junction, you can go right to Palabora or left. And once you travel along the road left, you'll get to the entrance to the River Lodge. So we're going into the south entrance, which is where you get to the camp. The camp is in a different section of the reserve to the River Lodge, and it's got this outstanding deck area with these magnificent views and a beautiful sunset. So I'll show you that later, but we'll be doing a little camp tour once we arrive, just show you the tents themselves and just a little read around the camp. It's not a big camp, maybe 5 tents, something like that from memory. Then you've got the main tent where you go for dining and drinks and stuff like that, and then this incredible sun deck that they have with these magnificent views. So I'll catch up with you soon once we get there and start doing some game drives and showing you around. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. G'day, so let's wrap up my summary of our time at Abelana Safari Camp. Fantastic experience, and I'm just going to lead off with this, is it often gets down to the staff. So we were so well looked after by John and Marge, who manage the safari camp. I was super stoked when we got to the south gate at the start of our time at Abelana Safari Camp, and John Fichet was there, and John was the manager when it just before COVID and it was about to open and couldn't open, and he took us on this wonderful tour around Abelana. So great to see John and Marge again. So they really made our stay, and we're now good friends, just those type of people that are quite open to talk about anything with you, especially about the bush and safari. Their knowledge is unbelievable. John started at Mala Mala back in around 1980 from memory, he told me. So he is one of those doyens, one of those legends in the safari industry. And if you get a chance to go out with John, you'll learn more about the bush than with anyone I've ever been out on a game drive with, and just really, really good company. We ate with them every night. It was our 20th anniversary. They gave us a nice little surprise dinner and set up with a congrats and a bottle of bubbles, and just it was just fantastic. All the other staff that helped us out with there, grateful for those guys too. Loved the food that was there. The tents super comfy, and even though it's solar powered, some camps that are solar powered, electricity goes off in the middle of the night and you can't charge in your room and things like that. Well, you can in Abelana. It's nice to be able to flick on a proper light in the middle of the night, or because you get up early for safari and it's quite dark, or to be able to charge things in your room. And I like to do some photo editing, so if I get up a little earlier before the safari drives, to be able to just edit away my photos and videos, and it saves me a lot of time when I can do that within the tent. But again, super comfy, modern tents. The game drives, well, we had some excellent game drives. Again, the thing about Abelana is the landscape is very, very different to most of the bushveld in the other game reserves around the Greater Kruger area, and we had great sightings, which you'll see in the next video. Let's just say baby cheetahs, rhinos, lions roaring, lions on a kill, just to give you an idea. You know, the main tent is very comfortable to go in there and have your dining, and as I mentioned in the video, the drinks work on an honour system. So when you have a drink, you've got a book, or there's a book or a slip with your name in it, and you just write down with your drink and you settle that bill at the end. But amazing stay, and tell you what, incredible value. If this is not the best value safari camp, especially for what you get in the whole Greater Kruger area, well, I don't know what is. So fantastic experience. I highly recommend that you give Abelana Safari Camp a try, and maybe at some time do the River Lodge, which we absolutely loved as well, Abelana River Lodge. So again, thank you for all the team. And actually, I'll go back just for a second and talk about the team that work in the main office. I think it's maybe down in Joburg, and just the communication with the team from Abelana is very quick, very efficient. So I love that. All the pre-stuff that goes into booking, the more efficient that is, and the friendly nature and the heads up they give you with everything else, absolutely seamless. So Gabrielle, that I was commuting with, and Brian, who I've been communicating with for, gosh, years now, thank you very much for you guys who do the work behind the scenes as well. So thank you, Abelana Safari Camp, and we will definitely be back. Bye for now.